There was a contractor who was a former home inspector. He said he would come in and take a look at the house for us.
That's bad.
Oh my God.
Get the hell out of the house right now.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be in here. Ross and Lisa, both teachers. Bought a house, looking for the area that's close to work that makes sense. Nice area, beautiful backyard.
We both finished university, and we decided that once we got jobs, full-time teaching jobs, which was very difficult at that time, we decided to stay home both live at home for 6 months and save up some money and be able to make a down payment on a house. And ended up finding this place and for a great deal, and it was just in the location, the exact location we wanted to be in, and it was kind of like a dream come true.
We know we always wanted a dog, so we wanted to make sure that we had something with a big yard, and we wanted to be in the downtown core, near everything, and a detached house, just so there was less, I guess, noise.
A lot of homes around here are bungalows, and we didn't want a bungalow, just like the bedrooms upstairs. Gets them further away from my loud drums, too.
They did the right thing. They hired a home inspector, actually a contractor, which is not terrible because they're supposed to know a lot about construction. He comes in, he sees a few things, appears to miss quite a few things.
Because we had kind of reached to the outer limits of our budget, we were trying to save some costs wherever we could, and there was a contractor who was a former home inspector. He said he would come in and take a look at the house for us and do an inspection, I guess.
I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do a whole Holmes inspection. I'm gonna find out what's wrong, what's right, and what I need to do to fix it.
He pointed out a few things.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
the deck at the time was falling apart pretty much, and he said right away, you're gonna have to replace that, and we did. He pointed out that there was 2 sump pumps in the house. We couldn't really check to see if they were working, but he just pointed out that they were there. The inspector did not give us a written report. He did a walkthrough and pointed out some of the minor problems, and he said there's really nothing to worry about.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Oh, drums.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ross.
Ross, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Lisa?
Lisa.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
The only place we didn't look, regretfully at the time, was the attic. He didn't have a ladder, and we didn't live here, so we didn't really have access to a ladder. And he said not to worry about it, that there'd really be no deal breakers up in the attic.
Didn't go in the attic?
Didn't go in the attic.
Right.
Didn't even have a ladder.
Didn't have a ladder. Did he have anything?
Flashlight?
Flashlight.
Yes.
But a flashlight works with a ladder. A camera works with a flashlight and a ladder. Things that I keep talking about as doing home inspections.
Our order of everything was house, dog, ring.
We started to discover a lot of the problems around the same time we were gonna buy the ring, which has now put that on hold a little bit because of the cost involved in having to repair some of these things.
We found mold in our bathroom, and right next to that, we found mold in the spare bedroom lining the spare bed. It made me really nervous just because I do have a past with living in an apartment with a lot of mold, and it caused a lot of lung issues for me, so it kind of scared me. And we started to wonder, where else is it?
Lisa, you wanna come down here?
What's that? Oh my God.
Records.
Oh my God.
I was taking down these pictures just to move them, and we found mold behind all the pictures, including one on that side of the basement as well. Your dance picture.
Oh my God.
You see what I see?
The buckling in the ceiling.
Why am I seeing buckling? I'll tell you why.
Moisture.
Yes. And it's not soaked. It means moisture's in the attic, and now it's buckling. Not a good sign. Okay, how do I get into your attic?
Through the office.
Office. Let's take a look at your office. And now you've set up a moisture meter and everything in the house. I'm glad you put this in. Now, what's our moisture at?
It gets as high as 70, but never drops below 55.
55%.
That's too high. You have too much moisture in the air. You can feel how hot it is, and probably gets worse in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely, especially this room.
And again, I'm seeing it in your drywall. You have all kinds of buckling in your drywall. Okie dokie. That's bad. That's what we call fur. There's a whole lot of it. I know I have heat loss. I'm black on the sheathing. I know I have heat mixing with cool air in the winter. I don't like seeing the insulation that's all dirty. It's just showing air movement. It's all it's doing. This is getting really bad. But don't worry, there's not gonna be a deal breaker that's up in that attic. There's just, trust me, there's not gonna be a deal breaker. Well, let me tell you, there may not be enough insulation. There may be critters living in your attic. You may have improper electrical. You may have mold galore, and you may have moisture and structural problems. Look in the attic.
That scared me even more because just like a little bit of mold in the bathroom I was worried about, and now it's really just in the basics of our house, the structure of our house. So it was really quite frightening to hear.
Let's go to the basement, take a good look at your basement. No rails. Did we talk about no rails? Did you take rails down?
No, there was no rail.
No, you need a rail, right? Okay. So we do have insulation on the outside there. I'm sorry, this is what I do. I took a look at everything. And we also have mold buildup on the bottom of the flooring. You see that? To see mold on the inner side of the sheathing and surface mold on the wall is not really a good sign at all. We see it anywhere else? Let's just take a look. First tile I moved, what did I see? Mold. I move a second tile. What do I see? Mold. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not a good sign. You know, one little area, okay, no problem. One little surface, no problem. Everywhere, problem. Okay, come on. This is really clear. What do I see?
Black.
Black. What is that?
Mold.
Yes, it's mold. So I saw it above the tiles. This is very clear. You have so much trapped moisture in here. Now I'm wondering where this trapped moisture came from, and it's starting to build up. So this is probably more mold than you want to be breathing. I'm not going to really touch too much in your house today. We have a sump pump, yes? Because I noticed that we had a drain that went through the wall. I can take it, it's in the front, approximately mid. And what does that tell you?
We're below sewer grade.
That's correct. Sump pumps are often used when a home is below the sewer line, and that's what's happening here. In this case, water drains into the pit from the washing machine, the sink, and the floor drain. And the pump then ejects it back up into the main stack where the drain runs into the sewer system. You have two pumps in your home, one here and the other one's at the front, and that one collects groundwater. This doesn't smell very good, by the way. You know, you're wondering, you walk through the basement and it smells a little bit of musty smell. Well, you got water sitting in the basement. If it's always gonna sit there, it's gonna smell like crap. And it's gonna emit. So, you know, we wanna see this a lot tighter, and it's not. We even see a surface mold buildup. Look at that right there within the well itself, which is not good. There's a lot of mold in this house. A lot of mold in this house.
I'm feeling a little bit panicky. Mike found a lot more mold issues than I thought that we had.
Now a little bit worried about what else he's gonna find.
We've been saving up for a ring. Like, we are planning on getting married fairly soon, but obviously we can't leave something this dangerous.
First tile I moved, what did I see? Mold. I move a second tile. What do I see? Mold.
We started to think, you know, with how much all these things are going to cost, is getting married even going to be a possibility anytime in the near future?
One of those houses that got me a bad feeling. I can feel the humidity in the air. It's really hot in here. Well, the inspector had a flashlight. Didn't have a ladder. Doesn't know anything about building. He's not a bad guy. He just doesn't know enough, and that's a problem. Most inspectors never pull up a register. They never take a look at anything. When it comes to moving something, they don't want to move a thing. Ducts are a little dirty, but it's nothing. Surface mold on the wall inside the house is not the greatest thing. Move this cabinet, which has probably got a couple of bodies in it. Holy cow. I shouldn't use my flashlight, but I'm going to. What I want to do is I want to see inside the wall there. I made a hole. I'm going to fix it. Exactly what the home inspector doesn't want to do. But it gives me the opportunity to also look in the wall to see what insulation's there. Is there vapor barrier? The answer is no. I do have a buildup on the tar paper here as well. You can clearly see that we have a buildup. Now also the insulation sticking to it, but it's showing that it's been wet. What are the key signs I look for? I come in, I see what's been done to the house. He's done some work down here. He's taken out this wall, he's got in 2 support posts. But for a home inspector not to do what I did, move a couple tiles, all right, you missed that one. Clear as day, looking in the furnace room, there is mold all over the floors. Did you miss that? Did you not look up? You had a flashlight, right? And right now, I'm pretty damn sure we have a possibility of a lot of mold spores in the air. So one of the first things I'm doing before I touch too much or not touch enough is to do an air test on this home to see if I got to get them out of the house. Wow, that was fast. That was really fast.
How are you?
I'm doing much better. You're here.
Oh.
Just so you know, Angela, I didn't think I was going to need you here today, but as I was looking downstairs, all the sheathing in the floors, above the floor joist, this floor, is just mold, mold, especially in the back furnace room. If you want to go take a look at it,
sure.
Right away I said, we got to call an air test just to see whether or not they're safely in here. How fast can I find out?
We'll find out likely tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning? That's perfect.
I'm going to be doing an air test to see what the airborne spore levels are like in the house. I'll also do a direct sample of the mold itself just to identify what type of mold it is, if it's heavy growth, moderate growth, that kind of thing. Airborne mold tends to be limited in the summer months because of the humidity, but it's still certainly a possibility. The most common health issues with mold are allergenic in nature. So whether you're allergic to mold or not, it can have an allergenic effect on you. So, you know, runny nose, itchy eyes, sore throat, sometimes breathing problems are usually what we see. The moisture content of wood that starts to support mold growth is 17%, and I've realized that the subfloor here is very, very close to that. So it's no surprise that there is mold growth on the subfloor.
So normally, I'm going to use my IR camera in the winter, a cold day, a wet day, but it's so hot in the attic. I think I can use this to pick up any heat loss. And look how hot that spot is right there. Like, you shouldn't have a hot spot like that. That's huge heat. There's another one right there. I was called in because of the attic. And it's really clear as to why that's happening in the attic. Insufficient insulation in the upstairs, in the attic space, probably only this much insulation, nowhere near enough. Areas that it's escaping through. Now add that it's probably not breathing good enough through the soffit, so what's happening? Hot meets cold, creates condensation. Give it the second food group, which is organic, paper on the drywall, the lumber, you're gonna have mold. And this house has mold with a capital M. Talk about this mold house.
Oh, that's a little smelly. Hello.
Did you notice it was in the air? It wasn't me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's really musty. That's.
There's a lot of mold in this house. You don't even have to tell me. I could smell it.
You got one hell of a tan, dude.
I do. I'm molding. I'm molding.
Organic, you are
My
live.
God, I'm molding right here.
Surface mold throughout the house. My God, you want to give me a hand with my tools?
Absolutely, buddy.
Fresh air.
Yeah,
Oh,
isn't that
is that
better?
nice? Holy cow.
It stinks in there.
Yes, it does.
The walkthrough we had with the original home inspector doesn't really hold a candle to the walkthrough we just had with Mike. He found 10 times as many problems in probably half the time. At this point, with finding everything out we found out, I'm not even 100% sure anymore if we would have bought the house.
Mr. Bennett.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Would you set that up?
Not at all. We were waiting to work.
All right, a couple things here. This is funny because it hit me last night when I was dreaming.
Yep.
This is not a cold room, and right away I went, it's a cold room. I'm thinking steel door, insulated door.
not.
No, the actual under the porch is on the other side of the
Oh,
block
you're kidding
wall.
me, okay.
So here's what they did, and I'm surprised there's not a lot more mold in here. They put a steel door, turn it into a cold room.
Right.
It's not. It's part of the inside wall.
Right.
But the steel door actually blocks all this off. You've got your joist right here on this side. No air's getting in, and all they're doing is the possibility of stale air being in here, water in the ground.
Just sitting there.
Yeah, mold growth on the tar paper.
Right.
You know, it's like the inspector didn't see that. He didn't look down, he didn't look up, he didn't look straight, I think. I don't know.
And he couldn't
didn't have a
smell.
ladder, he had a flashlight. Here's what we're gonna do. Really nice and gentle. Just draw a straight up line,
Yep.
2 feet right across. Peel the drywall off nice and slow, gloves, masks, and let's take a look at what we find.
Oh, there you go. You guys smell that now? Whew. Look at this. It's all over the tar paper.
Smells weird too.
I've never seen this situation here. Or you don't see it more on the wood, you're seeing it
Wow,
mostly
now
on
I
the
can really
tar
smell
paper.
it.
You smell that?
Now it's really starting to get strong.
Look at that. I just think there's a high water table, hence the 2 sump pumps, right? I think they had a high water table here, and I just think it's bleeding right through this foundation right now. Hey, Holmes.
Whew.
Yeah, you smell that now that we've opened it?
God, I brought my mask. That smells really bad, actually.
We got a lot of mold, buddy.
Yeah,
You see a lot of surface, eh?
Yeah, and it's on the tar paper, not the studding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is really simple. We're gonna bring the homeowners in. I'm gonna kick them out today.
Okay.
You know, the rule of thumb is 10 square feet.
Yeah.
You should bring in a professional, so we're gonna bring them in.
Okay.
Besides, it's all on the floor. This is gonna have to be
Everywhere.
ice sprayed. We're shutting it down, and we're going to the next level.
Okay. All right.
Ross, Lisa,
Hi.
how's it going? Have you met Damon
Lisa?
Bennett?
No, we haven't met yet. How you doing, Lisa?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Damon, how you doing? Good, man.
Nice day. Really hot out. Really, even hotter in your attic. I'm sure you know that. It's just an oven.
Yeah.
If you notice, I'm holding 2 masks. I have one for myself. I want to show you something, and I'm going to ask you to put these on. You don't have to do it yet, but when we go downstairs, you will.
Whoa. Yeah, I think I was most surprised by the smell of, like, that damp smell that I said that we had originally smelled when we moved into the house, but there was carpets. We thought, oh, it's just the carpet's damp, so we should not have carpet in the basement, and that smell kind of went away. But really, as soon as the walls got opened up, it was in there. So that was really quite shocking to smell.
You were okay for the air, and I'll explain why you were okay for the air. The mold that's up on the ceiling now is moist. So since it's moist, it's holding it. But as soon as it dries out and your humidistat drops down or your humidity drops down, it's going to turn into a powder form and start to fall. And spores are going to be in the air, and that's going to be bad. Your home is in a low-lying area, so water will always find its way to your house. Unfortunately, that's causing a lot of moisture in your home. We're going to eliminate most of that moisture by waterproofing your basement. But first, we have to get rid of all that mold. Because it exceeds the rule of 100 square feet, anything over 10 square feet, we recommend the professionals to clean it up. But there's a real rule, 100 square feet. There's no choice. It's a level 3, which means today I have to ask you to leave your house.
It's very worrisome to think of what could have happened and what is happening to our bodies right now because of where we've been living.
This house has the most mold I have ever seen. You could smell it when you first walk in. So we have Brian's guys here today to start remediating. Dry ice in the attic, remediation in the basement. I really love what you've done with the place, man. This is shocking. Like, imagine someone walking into their house and seeing this. It's like a containment unit.
I think essentially that's what it is.
Yeah.
Setting up containment units where you don't spread anything.
So how are we able to physically be down here without our masks?
Well, the thing with mold is we haven't gone dirty. What it means, when you're going dirty, it means you've actually restarting the removal and everything like that. Right now, most of the mold is contained behind the walls.
It's not airborne.
And it's not really airborne. It's not affecting us as much. Yeah, you still smell that little musty smell, but that's just general moisture in the air.
Right.
In the basement, we're in level 3 mold. What happens is we cover up as much as we can,
Yeah.
remove all the articles out,
Yeah.
and then we take the drywall, the insulation, the vapor barrier, and also the tar paper out.
Right.
All of it will contain mold in the end. It's best just to get all the substances out. And then from there, we take it out to the bin, and it's disposed of as regular waste.
And you have dry ice happening up in the attic if that's really moldy.
Yeah, we already moved the insulation up in the attic.
Yeah.
We're doing dry ice blasting. What happens with dry ice blasting is they take the chemical compound dry ice,
Yeah.
they feed it through a tube, through a generator. It dries up the mold and allows it to come off a lot easier than, say, sending in our guys and telling them scrape for 3 days in a row.
If the homeowner comes up into their attic, has a look, and finds a lot of grayish black and other vegetative growth up here, they would want to go back down out of the attic, call an environmental hygienist so that they can come, do an assessment, do all the testing to determine what the growth is, how heavy is it. You don't want to come up with a bucket of water, and please don't come up with any bleach. It's not going to work.
So remediation is done, clean bill of health. Okay, there's no mold existing, but that moisture is going to create more mold. Okay, so what do I see? I see old drywall still up. We're gonna lose that today. I'm not using anything down here but our blue products, okay? Which is gonna mean blue framing, and it's gonna mean blue drywall. No mold, all water resistant, right? Now we have another issue. What's behind you? We have a huge leather expensive couch. The homeowner built it in down here. So he took out the wall upstairs and got it down here. So what are we doing?
Busting the wall.
We're gonna bust the wall open upstairs to get this couch back out because we are not gonna frame around this couch. It's way too expensive, way too nice. Okay, here we go, sunshine. 1, 2, 3. So I mean, just be careful going up the stairs, right? Drop my hand. Okay, you got the bottom now, MJ? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Damon.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Good.
That is one heavy-duty sewage ejector.
That is a bad boy.
Okay, where is it going, man?
It's going in the corner.
Okay.
That entire corner needs to be actually excavated. Because what I have is obviously my laundry tub is draining into it. My floor drain is draining into this. And those are plumbing fixtures that need to be discharged through a sanitary line.
Right.
So sewage ejector will solve that problem.
So this is the only exposed part, is the top here?
Yep, that's the only thing that we'll see at the end. Everything below is going to be buried in the ground, covered with concrete. And you can see a number of screws and how tight this entire unit is. So
obviously a seal on it and everything.
Everything, right? So it won't allow any gases to escape, but also moisture, right?
That's fantastic. Because we have standing water. Like I have, what, probably 6 to 8 inches of standing water there, the same back there. The amount of humidity in this air right now, it is going to bring it into the air. I got to worry about upstairs. I mean, this will continuously travel, right? So I got to worry about mold in this whole house, not just down here.
Yeah.
You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. I have to say, for a homeowner, taking out a load-bearing wall is pretty ambitious. $12 in lumber is holding this house up. Okay, well, let's correct him a little bit. If you just stand back, you can see the deflection in that beam. That means this whole thing is sagged in the middle. He would have noticed over the years that this house would have started sagging. He would have had cracked tiles up there, everything would have started shifting. It's not something he should have started. When you're dealing with structure, it's a safety issue at that point, and this is why really you should be calling in the professionals. We always do as well. We would never do electrical or plumbing ourselves. We know how to, but we just don't want to. We want the professionals to come in and do it properly.
I'm extremely anxious about Mike looking at all the work I've done to the house. I've knocked a wall out, I've built a new deck, so I'm crossing my fingers and I hope that he approves.
A little under the bar, maybe $20 in lumber instead.
Frankie, so what'd you find here?
The electrical panel that we do have, I'd like to see a new one.
Why?
It's old, very flimsy. And we've also got another weird one, which we need to investigate a little more. It says outside receptacles.
Check out what you need to check out. Let me know. Okay. I'm glad I brought you. Glad I brought you.
Hey, Dame, I got something to show you in the back.
Okay.
See this extension cord right here?
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually plugged in right by the sliding door. If you actually follow it,
they have their lights onto it.
And then it's actually split up right here.
Oh my God.
For these lights here, and then for a floodlight that's not rated for outdoors.
Talk about dangerous, eh? People don't even
that's rated
realize.
For indoors. And again, for temporary use, not permanent use.
Well, it's also an open, it's electrical.
Well, it's all open, look
at that.
It doesn't take much for water to get into that, or for snow to build up here. Ground is earth.
Right.
What's just under here?
Yeah, that's earth.
We have the same issue on the other side.
Yeah.
I can't leave this like this.
Okay, I know what that's gonna mean. We're coming out of the house with electrical conduit. That's what I'd like to do. Do you have any issues with that?
No, the only thing is we're gonna do with conduit, we have to dig a minimum of 18 inches down.
Yep. Yep.
So it is gonna be a bit of a big trench.
Oh my God. Look at the size of that hole. How far does this gap go, guys? Does it keep going this way?
just block and rocks like all under here, like 6 inches under the earth. It's all just the rubble from that building.
Well, when we first got here, I talked to the owner up at the top of the street. And this low-lying area used to be a marsh, and after that, they built a factory on top of it for World War II. They made parachutes here. It burned to the ground. What they did is they buried the rubble and built the house on, according to him. Well, that's all speculation until we actually come across something, and this is the first evidence that that something actually existed here. Now, why is this important? Because what's happening is if that concrete, all that rubble is sitting under this earth, where is the water going? Well, we know where it's going. It's being absorbed into the house. We already have a lot of water in this area. We have a hill up this way. We have a hill up this way. Everything is draining into this house and the house next door. All that water is sitting under here. But what's worse about this, not only was it a marsh area, but we have that collapsed building underneath that's just retaining the water. It's just holding it in. The water has nowhere else to go. Water always goes to the lowest point. Unfortunately, we're at the lowest point. This is something I'm gonna have to give a pass on the inspector. How would you ever know? He's here to inspect your house and give you his best opinion on what he thinks is wrong with it, so that you have some knowledge walking in whether you want to buy that house or not, or negotiating rights at least with the owner. So there's nothing we can do about this. They actually built the house on top of an old rubble pile. What we have to do is waterproof this foundation to make sure the basement is dry and mold-free. You can feel the moisture down here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as you step down those stairs, it jumps like 20 points. Now this moisture reader, Colin, I brought from upstairs, which read about 55 on the top floor. I brought it down, and in about 20 minutes, it jumped. It's at about 82 right now.
Wow.
This whole house is sitting in a bowl. Underneath this is a collapsed building that they never took out, and it's in an old swamp.
Oh.
So we know right now we're sitting in a bit of a lake under here.
Yeah, it's holding all the water. This basement is far more humid than a normal basement. Like, the levels in here are off the charts.
Yeah.
So if we were to seal this up on the outside, it wouldn't do anything to manage the water under the floor. The best repair for us here is going to be to chip a trench around the interior perimeter, dig down about 1 foot. Now, because of the footings for the load-bearing walls on the interior of this house, we've actually had to trench a little bit deeper than we normally do so we can have our weeping tile run underneath those footings, because we can't compromise those footings and we're not supposed to chip them. The weeping tile system we're going to install, that's going to pick up the water as it rises up underneath the floor. When we get a torrential downpour, our weeping tile is going to discharge into a sump box. That sump pump is going to discharge that water. We can't stop the water that's underneath this house, but what we can do is manage it by the time it gets to the point of the basement floor, and that's what the interior weeping tile system does. What we've done to make sure that water's contained is we've installed a drainage membrane on the foundation, and what that will do, the water will stay behind that membrane and it'll be directed into our weeping tile. The homeowner, she's going to notice a difference right away. It'll be dry and she'll get a whole different feeling when she breathes the air in the house.
So you got them started, eh?
So this is what it's going to look like at the end.
So this unit here, it's not being picked up by the weeping system. This is strictly being picked up by the drain and the washing machine, correct?
That's exactly it. Right. This is part of the sanitary line, so I can only do a floor drain and I can do a laundry. Right. The fixtures that we're going to have in this room. We do have a weeping tile, however, that's going to run to the front of the house where we're going to have exact same system, but it will be responsible for the storm. I ran video camera when I did my inspection of the sanitary line and the storm line. So there is a storm system outside of the house which drains directly to the city.
Are we allowed to tie into it?
So we are allowed to tie into it.
Beautiful.
I don't have to bring the line and out through the wall.
That's great.
The pump itself is a sewage pump, so it's a lot more capable than a typical pump that's utilized for a storm system or just the regular water. The sewage pumps have greater horsepower output. They can actually take debris, break it down into smaller pieces and discharge it. So the new system, the new design that we're implementing, it's airtight, watertight system that won't allow any moisture to escape. Bulletproof solution in my eyes, considering the circumstances.
Steven, you will get back to work. You two, down in the basement. Joey, let's do some electrical. Let's go.
The surface mold that I've seen inside your house is not good for you two. Personally, I'll tell you, get the hell out of the house right now.
I mean, the lesson is learned. We'll definitely make sure that we get a top-rate #1 home inspection next time around. because the stress that these problems have caused is something we never want to go through again.
So by putting gravel into the voids, what I'm trying to achieve is water drainage. After I fill the voids with the 3/4 crushed gravel, would allow the water to just drain right to the bottom, because if I just fill that with earth, with all the pockets underneath here, that earth will continuously drain away. So before Joey lays his pipe, what I want to do is I want to lay some landscaping fabric under the existing geotextile that was laid just for the patio here, so that the earth is not draining through the gravel as well, holding in my earth, holding in my pipe, and we can actually backfill this, sod it, and this will no longer move.
We've run the pipe, so now basically got to fill the trench halfway and install this caution tape. Basically, it says electric line buried below. This way, so if anybody starts digging, they're going to hit this first before they hit the pipe.
That's nice and neat, eh, Joe?
Basically done. And it's time for me to put my solar caps on. This is your cap,
yeah,
right? This
Look at you, eh? Little design flair here and everything. All I wanted was a plug over here in the yard, and you got solar lights on it now.
If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right.
Attaboy. Joey, thank you very much, buddy. It looks great, man.
It's relatively small for us today. Just changing out some roof vents. The old existing aluminum vents were a cheaper, low-quality grade. They've been squashed down over time with the weight of snow. They're plugged up with dust and debris from the attic. The soffits are and were open, but without being able to draw out through the top, it was really choked up. So we're putting in new aluminum pre-painted vents that are going to perform a lot better, breathe a little bit better, and get that moisture out of the attic.
Now, the mold that was originally in this attic was caused by a few factors, including improper airflow, which Steve has now fixed. The other major culprit was the moist air from downstairs escaping into the attic. So to resolve this, I've removed the old bad insulation and I'm going to spray foam the deck of the attic, which will give us a thermal break and a seamless vapor barrier. Now I'll top it up with some blown-in insulation and this attic will not mold again. So I'm troweling in concrete, which means my plumbing has been passed. I can close up the ground, get my guys on the framing today.
Cover your ears!
You're having too much fun with that, Holmes.
Yeah.
We have to get this up so that Joey can start running his electrical. Dom, thank you very, very much for coming in, buddy.
Not a problem.
So the biggest thing about this house is the moisture level. So everything we're doing, like we've waterproofed down here, we've ripped out all the molds, everything we're doing is gonna help with this, including the windows, right? So just by changing these windows, they're single pane. Just imagine what that's leaking and bringing in, right?
These wood windows here, single glazing, are just useless windows.
Right.
We're gonna get a nice energy efficient window with strength and durability, so it performs.
Right.
And that's a combination you really need.
I know what Ross was going for here. He really wanted to open up his basement and give it an open concept. It was cramped. He had a wall going right along here when he first bought the house. It was tight, but there was a reason these walls existed. These are load-bearing walls holding up this house. What I've done is I've created 3.5-foot openings, at least on two sides, to allow a bit more of an open concept here, and I'll tell you why we couldn't give him an open concept. Right here, we have the stack for the house. It's coming from the ejector pump at the back of the house, and it's also picking up another washroom being brought over to the main stack that then's brought out to the city. It has to stay here, so why can't I move the beam this way? Here's my 2x8 beam right here. If anything, I would have to pack it out with a 4-pack to make a 14-foot opening that Ross originally had here. I would have had to do 2 more here. I cannot because of the HVAC trunks that are feeding the rest of the house with hot and cold, depending on the season. Nothing can come this way, nothing can go that way, so we keep the 2x8 beam, we give him bigger openings. He really was ambitious in the project, but he just didn't know enough to finish it properly. One, two, three.
I'm going to be priming and painting these spindles, which are paint grade poplar. What I like to do first is sand the corners, just because you get, if there's going to be any splintering or breaking, that's generally where it's going to happen on the corner. Also, if we round the edges just a little bit, the paint will stick better. The primer and paint both stick better. Sand in between every coat, and we're going to have a very smooth finish on these.
No wonder they bought this house.
It's a nice backyard, isn't it? The house, you walk in, there's no smell hitting you in the face when you're walking. Remember the first day I walked in, I was just like, how is anyone living here? They're gonna walk in and say, is this the same house?
Knowing that Mike is here to fix it is, I think, the only thing comforting us at this point.
I would agree with that, yes. Oh, my God. It's gorgeous.
We paid our inspector an expensive case of beer. I think we're both a little bit embarrassed that we didn't get a proper home inspection, and we probably could have found a lot of these problems. It's really, really hard for us to be upset at him because we didn't do it properly. We did not do what we should have done.
This is so exciting. Oh, boy. We've been out for a while, so we're so excited to come back home and see everything that's happened.
Ross and Lisa.
Hello.
So nice to see you both again.
Hey. Lisa.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Do you notice anything in the backyard right now? Just anything? I don't see any extension cords, I know that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So we have an underground conduit, put in a solar light on each post, give you a receptacle, bring it up to code and make it very safe for you too. And you should see it at nighttime. It's kind of romantic, I must say. We put down a shaded seed, so you're gonna love this, and he's put it everywhere. That way, this shaded seed, it allows the grass to grow in the shade. It grows in the dark. The stuff's incredible.
It's amazing.
So very soon, much unlike our hair, this is gonna look much better. Yeah, I said our, right?
Thank you.
Okay, now if you notice, let's look back at the house. There's 3 new roof vents up on top of your house. We wanna make sure we do critter-proof and proper airflow, which you did not have. We have smart screen on all your estraws, so this way, all the trees around your house, now nothing's going to clog or block your eaves or downspouts.
No cleaning troughs. It's great.
It's really high. It's the little things. Now, we have actually removed all the mold that was up there. We pulled out the insulation, put in all new insulation, made sure there's baffles in between the rafters, so we allow that air to get in low, drive to the top, and be pulled out in what we call stack effect.
I'm so thankful because of the health problems Lisa's had in the past and how important she is to me. I just couldn't, I almost couldn't breathe knowing that there was that many problems with mold in the house. I'm so grateful that they fixed it and our health isn't at risk anymore.
We've done a lot of testing in your house. Through everything we've done, and we've now got your humidistat down to 40.
High 40s, 47. It's fluctuating between 47
So as long as you're in
49.
between 40 and 50, we're all happy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so that's pretty damn good, right?
Huge change, yeah. As soon as we walked in the door, you could notice a difference in the air quality. You didn't smell any of the damp or mustiness. So right away, I knew that they had fixed that problem. They had addressed it and done a great job.
Now, Damon's done something here that I said was probably not the greatest thing, and that was really simple. He opened up this wall to pull your couch out, and I said, I would have told you to cut the couch in half.
Yes,
and
you
you're
did.
gonna have to buy a new couch.
So you're lucky I didn't
This
tell
whole
him.
wall came down to get it out, and then the good news is you got a new door.
Yeah.
Okay? You ready?
Ready.
Take your time, walk slow.
Oh, my God.
You're excited easily. I like that.
Well, this used to be
wood
paneling. Oh my God. Oh God. It's gorgeous. The basement looks unbelievable. Like it feels so amazing. It feels more open. It felt like we were entering a room that was full of sunlight. That's amazing.
First, you're going to be in trouble.
Uh-oh.
You put in 2 2x8 beams, right?
Yeah.
Your span was too far, and you goofed up structurally. Right?
Oh boy.
Good thing is that we fixed it. We can only span it 3.5 feet based on your beam. Okay, so now you're gonna have a center post here and 2 doorways, which really opens it up and looks good. We made your beam.
$12.50 in lumber?
You wrote it on.
Yeah.
Never admit to something, right? Unless it's done right. Okay, now it is right. So we have a brand new panel and very neat. Look at the electrical. I love my guys. You have a whole house surge protector.
Beautiful.
Okay,
I like
we love
organization.
that. When it's done right. This was an absolute complete gut. All new blue wood studding. Thermal break, that means we use spray foam in your whole basement. You're gonna love your lower energy bill that's gonna cost you in the winter to heat this house. You just won't believe the difference by thermal break in the basement. All blue drywall, which is mold resistant, water resistant, which we want throughout.
One other thing we did here, an internal waterproofing.
The floor was dug up all the way
That's
around
right.
your foundation, and weeping system was put in place, and then it goes to the pump. That's a completely controlled and closed unit, so we don't get any humidity coming up from water or moisture in the air, nor do we get any smell. Everything was fixed in here. Again, thermal broken in behind it, all new electrical in the basement.
I know that you had some problems with molds in university. He talked to me about it before he left, and he said how important you were to him, and I know that mold was bothering you. So that was one of our most important things between Mike and I, is getting rid of the mold and making sure it's not going to come back after we leave as well. So that was something we had to do.
And the carpet is what?
No worries.
Carpet's what?
Hypoallergenic, and it's also commercial carpet.
So it means there's no organic products in it. It cannot mold. It's not going to be an issue.
Just to hear everything that they did to protect us and our safety from future mold, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm floored.
I can't even believe it. It looks incredible. I could never imagine our basement could look like this.
Go ahead.
Whoa! Woo! Oh my God!
So let's talk about what we've done in here.
The windows.
So all the plumbing was replaced to make sure everything's right. Look down.
Oh, covered somehow.
Another closed unit system. And high end, this is what we want to see. You never want an open well of any sort inside your house.
You can actually feel it in your house that the air quality is actually better in here.
And I noticed.
What?
Is that a new washing machine?
No! It just looks new because we cleaned it.
We cleaned it.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
We can tell who's not doing laundry here.
It looked brand new.
Oh boy.
So, is that a little bit of hint for your future?
Yeah, I need to do more laundry.
Did I hear something?
I need to do more laundry. My future wife.
So you did ask her.
I did, yeah. I couldn't wait.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
There was.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
It gives me a big peace of mind, knowing that everything here is safe for us and it's gonna last a long time, so we can feel good living in this house.
It's absolutely incredible. We're so thankful.
No way. You see that?
The whole drum was custom made for you.
No way.
I heard a rumor that Mike plays drums, so I'm interested to find that out if it's true.